Day 2, doing brakes. I have the wife's car. It's a 2012 Ford Escape, and I think one of the front rotors are warped, because whenever you apply the brakes you get a pulsating through the foot pedal. So we're gonna change them out. As you can see, I got new rotors, pads. I got some brake clean, because you got to clean the rotors, and blaster for the bolts. I'm going to jack up the front end on both sides, put jack stands under, get the tires off, gather up all my tools, and then we'll get started on changing them out. Well, as you can see, I got the wheel off. Why show you that? You can see 100 videos of that. But the caliper bolts on this are Allen head. I did not have a right size Allen to remove them, so I ordered up another a set. I figured might as well. These are made by Lexion. Got everything from H2 all the way up to H14. No skipping around. I mean, you got 7, 8, 9, 10. It does jump to 12, but let's get those bolts out. And I'm thinking it's calling for the H9, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, by the way, there's caps to keep them from rusting. There's a low rubber boot right there. You can see me moving it, but the little rubber cap that keeps the water and crud out of there, and so it doesn't rust up. You want to reuse these. Maybe at 8. Let's go down one. I'm sure hoping we got the right. And that's it. Okay, let's get them off. I'm using an extension because I don't want to get in close to this brake line. Now get that out and I'll show you what it looks like, and then we'll move on. Don't need to show you taking the other one off because it's the exact same procedure. You can see down in right here is the threads that are working out of the mount. So I'll get that out and show you what it looks like. And what I'm going to use is this little screwdriver where you can get in there and move that outward to where you can get hold of it. Just don't booger up the threads. I can see it sticking out. Let's just get it. Just slide the rest of the way. Just doesn't want to go. There we are. And that's what it looks like. You're going to want to clean all this up before you reinstall them. So let's do the bottom. I didn't show it on camera, but you take a screwdriver or a pry bar and you get it in between the caliper and the rotor and you pull it back so you're pushing the pistons back in. I just got done doing that. Now I want to get that bottom bolt out. And then the caliper is loose, so I'm going to use a piece of rope and tie it up here to the strut spring so it's up out of the way. Got a retaining clip. But set it right there for now, because I'm going to compress that while it's here. Like I said, they make a special tool that you can do that with, but C-clamp is just good enough for girls I go with. I don't want to bottom it out, so I did move it pretty good with the pry bar. Should lube up my clamp a little bit to get. And like I said, I'm gonna hang this from the strut. Maybe. Try again. Bungee cords work great, but I don't have none. Good enough for now. Oh, come on now. What the hell? Yeah, the brakes don't look too bad. Not worn down too bad. But the rotor is grooved on the inside. So now I'm going to shoot some blaster on these two bolts and get that off. We got these two bolts loose, broke loose, and just let you know that that is a 18 millimeter 6-point. Don't use a 12-point because you're going to chew them up. Use the right socket for the right nut or bolt. But we'll get these pulled out and get the rotor off. Don't lose these, you can be reusing them. As you can see, not moving. Probably seized on. So I am going to take a little blaster, shoot down these holes around the lip, the inner bearing lip, and go get the BFH. Well, we got the dead blow out, and I had to come from underneath to get a good enough swing to hit it from here. This vehicle, it's open, the caliper's on the front, so it's open, but popped right loose. As you can see, the inner rotor, that's junk. So let's get the rotor out of the box, cleaned up, and get it on. The brake pads I ordered off of Rock Auto, New Tech Galaxies. They say quiet and long lasting life and low dust. The part number is SCD 1047B. That's a 2012 Ford Escape. You will get, the pads did come in a package. I already pulled them out. You will get silicone lubricant and those clips to keep things in place, which is a pretty good deal. So I'm going to clean this rotor up with some brake clean and get this thing put on. Trying to keep it over that mat so I don't get crap all over the floor. But as before I stated, and when I did the brakes on the Ford Explorer, that these come with a coating, and if you don't take this coating off, it's going to plug up your brand new brake pads. And you put a coating on it to keep them from rusting during storage and shipment. And to prevent the rotor from sticking like it did once before, anti-seize, lubricant. So your best friend. So I'll get this all lubed up. And now everything's just virtually the reverse process. And I will take the bolts for the bracket, the caliper bracket, and anti-seize. Anti-seize. Let's get if I can just get it freaking started. I think we got her. No, we don't. I'll be back. I got those bolts good and tight. Don't have my torque wrench here. Don't know what torque spec is, but good and tight. Good and tight. So now we'll move to putting the pads and the caliper back on. I installed the inside pad. They have little teeth on them. When you pull them out, I took some anti-seize and put around where the piston sets, as you can see here where it made contact, and I put some on here to where the inside of the pad would be making contact with the caliper. Let's get this back on there. I'm making sure that the edge of the pad is sitting on this ledge, and the pad is sitting in on the ledge in there. And we take the spring clip, which will be going, these ends go underneath these tabs on the caliper bracket, and then these two tangs go inside the holes on the caliper. So we'll fight with that. And I found the best way. There's a little nub on the brake shoe right dead smack in the middle. Get yourself a pry bar. Get the caliper seat flat, which is one of the tricks. And I like to reach up underneath to get hold of that. Maybe. Now I pushed it by hand. And she's seated. These tabs, I'll show you on the other one, that go inside the hole on the caliper have a little lip which reaches through and grabs hold. So that will not come off. Now we're going to put the bolts in. And with the silicone, you want to put a little bit on each one of them, because that's what your caliper slides on. It's inside that rubber boot. And I'll do both of these. I cleaned them both up with a little bit of brake clean and a Scotch-Brite pad. I don't like using wire wheels, you know, off a bench grinder, or it just, I think it gouges too much. And then I'm going to take, you guessed it, NICs, and put a little bit on the threads, just a touch, and then we'll install. Slipping back in through the boot. Just a little bit. Every little bit helps. Next time you are going to be doing brake job. And then let's tighten them down. Now, when you're tightening them down, I already did the top one. Don't tighten it super tight. Just to where it's almost, it just starts to snug up. Because if the bottom is out of alignment, see right there, it's snugged up. So now I'll tighten them good and tight. Click. That's good for me. Come back to the first one. Click. And reinstall our caps. Keep the crud out of it. And then we go and turn the steering wheel back straight and put the wheel back on. That's one side. Now I got to do the other side. It's the exact same process, so no need to really show you that. Well, that's one side. But if you like my video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up and not the finger. Remember to hit that subscribe button. Click that bell icon. That will tell you when I post another video. If you've seen anything I did wrong or could do something different, go ahead and leave a comment. But we will see you on the next one. Bye.